Booyah! Tippy time, my damies, and welcome to episode 27 of Reviewedly Interrupted with me, Pootie time. You still here? You shouldn't be. Alright. Stanley. Where is it at? It's on here. It's on here. Where's it? There it is. Stanley. Stanley. Right back here. It's Stanley. Stanley. This movie, man, have you ever seen like Ben or Willard? Where it's like just a boy and his rat just out wreaking fucking havoc because of shit and stuff? Well, Stanley is like the same thing almost, except it's about this Seminole dude and his fucking pet rattlesnake, Stanley, who he rescued and everything. And yeah, it's like one of those, it came out like, what, 1972. One of those, you know, eco thriller horror type dealios where it's like, listen, man, we need to watch what we're doing, man. Mother Earth, one of those type of deals. You know, kind of like how the movie Frogs was, except this movie's different than that. And even the movie, what is it? Prophecy? I think it's just Prophecy. That whole eco-terror one. You know, there's like a whole subgenre. It's pretty cool. I think Night of the Lepus might even be one of them. Shit, it's been a while since I watched that motherfucker. That movie's sick. But yeah, you know, it's like around that era and shit like that. And it's actually not that bad, you know? It's the acting is solid. You know, it almost has a made-for-TV-esque quality about it, but like it never would have played on TV back then, you know? It does have almost a grindhousey feel, but I would say as far as like on like the grindhouse scale, it would be like a fucking maybe a PG, you know? Because, you know, it doesn't get out there, but it's like, it definitely got that almost kind of like you'd see it in a theater downtown, but it's not playing everywhere type deal. But I have it in this set right here, like one of those little sets that I'm sure some of you other peeps watching like find and get, where it's just like, you know, I got a couple of the movies already, but I don't have like the other 8, and fuck it, I know the quality's not going to be great, but I get to watch them and it's fun. And you got them all in this like cool little set and everything. I have a ton of these little things. These little like 12 movies for $5, for $3, 50 movies for fucking $10, and all this other kind of shit. And yeah, so I'm gonna go watch this again. This movie's about stuff and Stanley. Like the song at the beginning is like totally fucking hippie shit too, and it's fucking funny. But yeah, I'm gonna go watch this again. You know, it's actually pretty good. It's solid. So it's like it's an entertaining, good little view. And I put the link. Like I'll talk about the link. I got the link for this actual set that you can get off Amazon, or the only Blu-ray copy I could see, or any other copy of DVD. I didn't really go searching hard, but the only other thing I found was a Blu-ray double feature with Hell High. On Vinegar Syndrome, so it's like I got that link and shit too. But yeah, I'm gonna go watch it on my neat little set where the quality isn't great, but fuck it, it's a lot of entertaining movies in one little set, all in one little place, and it's a neat little thing you could put up there. It's like having a short story collections of in books and stuff, you know. Although there's not as much, like, you know. There's some movies that end up on like fucking every fucking set you find. At least there's like Vincent Price and The Last Man on Earth. You know, it's like on so many of them, you know. But yeah, so I'm gonna go watch this little slice of hippie rattlesnake horror. That's its own subgenre. I'm pretty sure there's like 8 million of those. There's four of them, this movie, Stanley, is 2 of them. What does that tell you? I don't know. It's a solid movie. All right. I'm going to go watch Stanley. So, Capachow, motherfuckers. Ooh, my lordy. Fucking Stanley, man. I tell you what, this movie is so silly. It's like there's some effects like you I can tell that they really killed some snakes while making this, because it was in 72 when it was like nobody gave a shit. But like they also use some effects, like fake snake effects, like where they're like going up and biting on people and shit like that, and they just look fucking great. They're just like so hilarious. Just and it's like I don't know how to put it, where it's like it's done very seriously, but it's also like kind of over the top in its seriousness, where it's like, listen, we want to entertain people, we want to scare them, frighten them, but we want to open their eyes to like the ecological disasters and the impact of man upon nature. You know, it has this whole fucking message that's like sometimes it's more overt and sometimes it's just kind of underneath, you know, just like little bits of dialogue and shit like that. But it starts off as this great revenge story, and then like, who could have guessed the twist? What twist? The twist where, go figure, the guy who is a Vietnam vet with some PTSD who comes home to hearing his father got fucking killed, like murdered. So he lives in like a little shack or a house or whatever, out in the middle of the fucking swamp, away from all of humanity. Who would have guessed that this fucking guy would have all of a sudden flipped at some point, taken a chick fucking hostage, straight up kidnaps her, and then is like, you're never gonna leave. And then like threatens to use his pet snake to murder her, and actually lets a bunch of snakes out to kill her and do his bidding. It's like, who could have guessed this guy was not all there, you know? And it's kind of crazy too, but like that's kind of what makes this movie a little special in a way, is that like the whole time this guy's like our hero. He's our protagonist. He's a little off. You could tell he's a little off. I mean, shit, the guy is like building little fucking Lucy and Desi goddamn canopy beds for his pet rattlesnakes and their rattlesnake babies and shit. The guy's a little off. He has a little wedding for his fucking rattlesnakes that had babies together. He's a little nuts, but it's like he's fighting the good fight and all this other bullshit, right? So it's like he's our protagonist. He's our hero. He's our good guy. He's on a mission. He's trying to do good and everything. And then to just have him like flip and become like this evil fucking guy, where it's like, oh man, he kind of like, yeah, he's not all there. The switch got flipped, and then he's back in Nam, dude. He is not okay. You know, that's one of the things that makes this pretty cool to me, at least, you know, is that he's our super good guy the whole time, and then at the end it's like, oh no, he's a straight up total fucking evil bad guy now, who's like thinks he's like rattlesnake commander, like on G.I. Joe, instead of cobras because of the rattlesnakes, because Stanley is a rattlesnake. So he'd be rattlesnake commander. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'd say that's about right. I hit the nails right on the head. I did. All of the nails right on the head. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, it's got a grindhousey feel, but then it also doesn't at the same time. It's kind of weird, you know. I don't see it really, you know, maybe playing on TV like in the evening, like, ooh, the Friday night scary movie at like 9 p.m. on channel 3, you know, or something like that, like back in the day or something. But I don't really, well, I don't know, I guess, you know, because like even on, I used to watch like Squirm and Slugs and all that kind of shit on like TNT and TBS. You guys remember that shit? I'm talking like the 90s and stuff. You know, and it's like all of a sudden every once in a while they throw like one of those. This seems like one, like it could be on there. But yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. As far as like eco terror, eco horror, fucking environmental horror goes, it's okay, you know? The acting's pretty solid. It's cheesy at times, but it's not the worst shit I've ever seen. I'll put it that way. You know? It's an entertaining little movie just because it's like kind of goofy in a way, you know? There's just parts of it that are kind of goofy. Where it's like, you know how in the original Last House on the Left, you know, it was very serious and all this other kind of shit. Then all of a sudden you'd have stuff with like the sheriff and his deputy, which is kind of like goofball stuff, especially that music they were playing. You know, it's almost got that kind of feel where it's very serious, but then whether intentional or not, there's like little bits of dialogue and other stuff that just kind of like, oh man, this is so cheese. So cheese. And yeah, you know, I enjoyed watching it. It was pretty cool. It tells a good story. It's like you know, it's like almost like two storylines battling each other throughout, and it's like it's kind of a back and forth tug of war of which one's taking precedence. Whether it's the, hey man, wake up and treat the environment good because we're fucking it up and knock it off, like the lovely, beautiful theme song of Stanley. That lovely hippie anthem, that shit's pretty tight. You know, along with like the other plot, which is like this guy is like trying to get revenge for his father's death too. He knows that the people had something to do with it, and then when he finds out for sure those motherfuckers did some shit, it's like it's all about revenge. That's like a payback story, which is kind of like how I was talking about Ben before, how this is kind of like Ben or Willard with a dude and his rattlesnake. It's kind of like that, where, you know, you got like the guy and his creepy crawly like minions or whatever, like seeking revenge, and then an environmental horror, you know. And it's like, it's a pretty neat little blend how it just like wraps up there, so it makes it a little unique. And it's like can't remember his name. I think it says on the back here. Is it Alex Rocco? I believe that's who it is. I'd have to check on IMDb, and I can't do that because I'm doing this, you know. But I believe Alex Rocco is the guy that plays like the bad dude that always wants the reptiles and the snakes, because he takes them and turns them into like belts and clothes and shit, and he's making money off it. And he's like the epitome of the corporations that don't care about the environment and just want to like take everything from it they can to make money, because it's all about money and they don't care about anything else. That's his embodiment. But I do believe, and he played like Mo Green or whatever on like, what was that? Fucking what was that on? Was that Godfather? I think it was Godfather, Mo Green or whatever. But it's like, you know, so that the acting isn't too bad. You know, it's goofy. That's the only way I can explain it. It's like it's not going to be like this Oscar-winning performance that's going to knock you on your ass, but it's solid. It's not like, oh man, this person doesn't even know how to just act normal and just act. It's just like so forced, you know? No, it's pretty good. And coming out in 1972, I mean, you know, I kind of get the whole vibe of it, where it was like wanting to be very, very open your eyes-y, you know, to what's going on, you know? Because, I mean, if you look around today, you know, you do see it's like we're still trying to, like, kind of fix some of the stuff that we fucked up as humans and everything. But it's also, we're just continuously doing it, too, at the same time. So it's like, whatever. But, you know, it's like I'm not this big ecologist guy and all this other crazy shit, and I'm not going to go off on like global warming rants or anything goofy like that. But it's like it is like this thing where you got to understand. It's like we're never going to be perfect and not be able to not take from the earth and get what we need to get and do things a certain way to progress in a certain way. It's almost like you got to kind of like your first version of an invention is usually like very rough and it's not perfect, and it maybe makes some mess and everything, and then as you go along you make it better and cleaner and more efficient and everything else. It's like we do have this symbiotic relationship with the earth because we kind of need some of the shit to survive, and we do like what we can to help it survive too at times. So it's like should be like this symbiosis, but it is what it is. It's like human beings are going to human being, and Mother Nature is going to get Timmy. I love how the guy's name is Timmy. He's going to get Timmy and Stanley to kill the rattlesnake belt people, because if they don't, who's gonna? Not me. I ain't got that kind of time. Plus, I don't want to go to Florida and hang out that long. And my production crew, who chooses my movies, said, "Have you done a vampire movie yet?" And I said, "I do not think so. I do not think so. I do not think I've done a vampire movie. I am." So we were going and looking and thinking and looking and everything else, and I was like, what about this one? It's in another little set that I picked up. You can even see how much I paid for this shit. $5. It was probably worth every fucking penny. Look at that. 4 movies: Ghost Son, Vlad, Headhunter, and Reality Kills, and everything. And I'm going to be doing Vlad, the one that has the little price tag. I'm going to keep the price tag on there. And I don't know if you can see, starring Brad Dourif and, oh my god, Billy fucking Zane. I was like, yeah, I should probably do the vampire movie starring Billy Zane. I mean, it's Reviewedly Interrupted. It's Pootie Tang. Of course he's going to pick the fucking vampire movie starring fucking Billy Zane and Brad Dourif. Of course he is. About Vlad Dracula. Dracula the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler. Dracula the Vlad Impaler. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do for next episode 28. But for 27, Stanley, like, I do want to get like that fucking that double feature on Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome at some time. I gotta check again and see if it has any special features. It might have some special features. It'd be cool. Like, it's kind of cool to find a movie that's just some random fucking movie with no frills, not even like a good transfer or anything else, on one of these like funky sets, and then like, tracking it down like later on, like, even if it's just DVD, but it's got some special features and shit like that. And you could be like, you know what? I knew, like, because Stanley walked into it, no one zipped. Read the back on here. I was like, okay, well, we'll check that out. Never seen it, never heard of it until I got this motherfucker. And then I've seen it like I don't know, like 3 or 4 times or something, And then later on down the road to like actually find like a copy of just it, and, with some frills, and kind of like get into it and be like, oh wow, that's crazy. And actually like learn something new about a new movie that you just learned about, And I don't know, like if you like movies like I like movies, and I don't know, I geek out on that kind of shit. So I would like to get that down the line, and yeah, I got the link in there for that and for this. So it's like, I don't know, maybe you might want to pick this up and just watch some of these goofy movies if you're into this kind of shit. Maybe just you already have a bunch of these and you're like, oh fuck, I'll add it to my collection of rando movie collections, cheapo rando movie collections. Like, when I see them sometimes, I'm like, no, I'll snag it up. If I got like one of the movies, like let's say it's like a 4-1 like this motherfucker. Let's say I already had Reality Kills, but I didn't have these other 3, but the price tag is $5. I'm buying it, and I'm gonna watch them. So it's like, yeah. So I mean, I got the link for that, for this motherfucker in the dealio, and then also for that Vinegar Syndrome double feature with like Hell High. I want to say it was Hell High. I can't remember. It's in the fucking... Go look and check it out yourself. There's the link. That's what they're there for. The fuck you need me for. And also, thinking, like, you know, if you'll notice the intro video for this is different. I had to get a new phone. My old intro video went bye-bye. So it's like I'm almost taking it as a sign that I could try new stuff on this thing. And there's a little plan I'm formulating that I might start doing with my 30th episode. And I might do it like every 10 episodes or something, you know, a little something different. We'll see how it goes. I know that it'll probably be a rough start for it if I do decide to do it, and totally prepared for that. It might be a rough start, a rough middle, and a rough end to it. I don't know yet, but I'm emotionally prepared for that. I mean, that's what www.psychiatrist.com is for, where you go and you type in your HMO information, and it helps you find the best suited psychiatric help online in your area. And I think that's very great. So remember, like, that's www.psychiatrist.com. Okay, so just remember that if you need help, go look for that fake website I just made up. And if it really is a website, I'm guessing it probably is. I don't know what they do. So, I mean, the ball's in your court. I assume no responsibility. I said it right here. I said it right now. I'm not saying that if you go to that website, you will find a psychiatrist. But I'm also not saying if you go to that website, you can't find a psychiatrist. Okay? Okay. So, yeah, I mean, fucking Stanley. I mean, it's if you're into older movies, especially like just like oddities, just something that wasn't like big at the time, like was 72, that was Exorcist. Didn't Exorcist come out in 72? I mean, you got big movies, big fucking movies that came out around that time. But if you like to find like little odd shit that just like kind of fell through the cracks or whatever, you know, Stanley's a good solid one. You'll get it's entertaining just in like just in its kind of cheesiness. It's profound hippie-esquely or esqueness in it, of it, about it, around it, surrounding, drowning in its hippiness. And it's like drowning in a sea of patchouli and other hippie stuff. I don't know. Hacky sacks, drowning in a sea of patchouli hacky sacks. That's what this movie is. But yeah, I think it's fun, and I think it's entertaining. Like I said, just in its cheesiness and the little bits and pieces here and there. And if you're into this kind of thing, then I definitely say check it out. You know, and I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think of it if you've already seen it. And yeah. So I don't know. I guess that's it, man. I mean, what else? What else do you want from me, man? I mean, what else do you want from me? I mean, shit, man. I mean, I talked about it. I told you the things about it and the stuff. And like, oh, I forgot to tell you about one thing though. The fucking weird that they just kept calling him Psycho, and he was like this almost hippie dressed dude in a cowboy hat who was just like doing coke and popping pills and just kind of like fucking nutty. And he goes on a rampage and fucking kills Lady Snake and the snake babies, and then, you know, fucking Timmy's got to fuck him up. You know, it's just what it is. But he gets a little help from his friend Stanley, because Stanley, I mean, you know, Timmy should be pissed off, because that was like, you know, his best friend's old lady and kids that got straight up like murdered and shit. But yeah, Stanley was the one with the grudge on that one. So it was good to see Stanley get his come up, like give that guy his comeuppance, give Psycho the comeuppance right there and bite his ass. I think he bit him right in the neck. It's like, wow, take that, son of a bitch. Like, yeah, so yeah, the pool scene where he just like, I don't know, this guy just, it seemed like when it got to a certain part of the movie, he was just going around everywhere with a sack full of snakes. Nobody said shit to him. I think everybody knew that Timmy was fucking nuts. And they're just like, there goes Timmy. What do you think's in the sack? Probably fucking snakes. I'm not touching it. And they just like left him the fuck alone. They're like, Timmy's got a sack. Get the fuck out of the way, dude. That's all I gotta say. And you know what? That's actually something I've lived my life by ever since I was 3 years old. You know? That's when I knew. That's when I learned at 3 years old that if like Timmy's got a sack, get the fuck out the way. Don't fuck with Timmy when he's got a sack. He is up to some shit, and you don't want to be in that shit because that shit is very hard to wash off. It is very, very sticky, gluey poo. So, yeah, okay, man. That's it. Stanley. So, yeah, I think I've thoroughly signed your pity on the runny kind with Stanley today, and you're welcome. What can I say? When you got it, you got it. When you don't, you don't. And when it comes to signing pity on a runny kind, what can I say? I'm like the Jesus Christ of signing your pity on the runny kind. They should probably write a book about me. Or not. But, all right, yeah. So, this has been episode 27 of Reviewedly Interrupted with Stanley and me, your host, Pootie Tang, the living embodiment of, I don't know, this would be Rutherford B. Hayes. I think I have nice Rutherford B. Hayes fucking facial hair going on, so... yeah. And I'll see you next time. Until next time, I'm going to miss you so fucking much. I'm going to miss you so fucking much, so fucking hard. I'm going to miss you so fucking hard. Go. Go.